What is good, YouTube? It's been a hot minute since DJ Chicken Nugget has been on the road, but we're back this week taking my friend to work, which means the return of Radio Robbie and just the fun, interesting things that I get to discuss while driving. So, I wanted to talk about a little bit about what's going on post Soul Fusion and the OCG, and this is without the organization posting deck list yet. You might be like, why is Robbie talking about this? Well, first off, I've seen a very, very high representation of Thunder Dragons just across OCG locals. Now, you have to remember the OCG metagame is primarily composed of local tournaments. You'll get a few couple 100 levels, besides maybe some qualifiers, and then, East or Asian Championship tournaments, and then, of course, the big East and West side WCQs. But we've seen a very high representation of Thunder Dragons. Now, the downside to this representation of, Thunder Dragons is, unfortunately, Goki and Sky Striker still both exist. Now, remember, the OCG recently just got their metagame changed by the new Forbidden Unlimited list. And you also have to remember, as of making this video right now, the OCG is effectively 2 sets ahead of us. They have Horizon and they also have fucking Soul Fusion. Meanwhile, we're still over here in, whatever the hell format we're in. But Thunder Dragons are, to a lesser extent, really getting outclassed by the 2 existing decks. And, the next OCG list, I believe, is going to be September, October. At one of those 2 points, we will get that. But here's the thing. If they release this list and Thunder Dragons do get this potential increase in, popularity, then you know what that means, right? Thunder Dragons for Tier 1. We've already seen them. They have an Extra Link combo. That's so damn good. In and of themselves, it's almost like every deck has an Extra Link combo now. I've kind of come to accept this fact. Like, every person on the internet out here is trying to produce Extra Link videos. Like, oh yeah, this deck that can link summon can also produce an Extra Link, and you're just kind of like, oh boy, everybody can do it now. Y'all thought Goki was, the problem. Goki's the most consistent at producing an Extra Link, but my problem herein lies, this deck can still potentially do it. Does it mean it's consistent? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how the results go. But with the way that it's shaping up and just the high representation right now, I think a potential list shift in checking, Sky Strikers and some of the other, cancerous problems that the OCG has in their format, I could definitely see Thunder Dragons having an uprise in potential just going forward into their new format. So, for now, I think the deck is going to be classified as probably Tier 2 in the OCG, maybe until they figure things out a little bit. We'll have to wait and see. And the OCG is a very mystical place when it comes to these things. Let's be real. I mean, Soul Fusion adds a lot into the game, though. Sky Strikers get the ability to clear out the extra monster zones. And I don't know how many of you guys have actually, read that card, but the Milling 2 part kind of sucks. Because you already, in the TCG, you already want to play Desires. And the other downside is by the time we actually get this card, Goki and Sky Striker will probably already be checked in our metagame, which is really awkward because, remember, they're 2 sets ahead of us. So by the time that we get the next set, which is Horizon, they'll probably be cleaning up Sky Striker and Goki in our metagame, which leads to a very interesting discussion. By that time that we get that card, will that card have any real merit, or will we eventually reach a point to where it might not be that good? This is another one of those hard-hitting questions. It's like, this card's really good. This card is almost metagame defining. But until we get to a point to where we can, abuse it, or, by the time we need it, we might have already just naturally checked it on the ban list. So, there's that. So, what is there? The instrument deck, or Orphidiles, or, the Black Fairy deck. The really evil fairies. So, I know that deck has a lot of potential, but my problem is I think it's on the same level as Metaphys at the moment. And my problem with Metaphys was they weren't super good. I know there's always going to be that one fanboy out there's going to be like, well, you're wrong. Well, yeah, that's fine. But the competitive side of the game is still really good for being what it is. It's competitive. It's degenerate. You know, I understand that you might want the Orphidiles or I can't remember the name off the top of my head right now. I'm sure you want them to be super good, but let's just be real for a second. Like, it's just not going to happen at the moment. Like, there's just, I don't know. Like, they're good, don't get me wrong, but they're still missing something, you know. But that's what more support's for later. You guys remember when I said we were going to get more crawler support? I played myself in that statement. So bad. The way that Soul Fusion has been going, though, the set is really cool. I mean, the light fairy support for making fairies all the better. Oh my god, I love that card so damn much. Like, there's just so much potential that it can do. But once again, like, I'm not going to say that, like, all of this support is subpar, because I think that's doing it a disservice. But when you look at the competitive side of the game, this is just all kind of adding a little bit more into the fire. I mean, you give Nurse Burn a little bit more, sure, Nurse Burn might show up. You know, you give Counter Fairy a little bit more, you know, Counter Fairy might show up. Is this set tipping the scales of competitive favor? No. We still have Goki running around and things like that. Now, on the flip side of that equation, in the TCG metagame, we have the most anticipated TCG exclusives since Burning Abyss. And sorry, Spirals, you thought. Dangerous. So, remember, I talked about how we were probably going to check the problem of Goki and Spiral in the TCG metagame, which will probably drive a wedge through our metagame, because not only will we be one set behind with Horizon, with Soul Fusion not coming out until, October, November, sometime in there, we also will have the Danger archetype. Now, I have heard so many mixed opinions on the Danger archetype. Oh, it's not good. Oh, no, the deck's going to be really good. I don't really care what the general opinion is. Everybody's read the cards. Everybody can formulate an opinion. Everybody knows that these cards are pretty damn good. Let's be real here. But once again, you're doing yourself a disservice if you plead ignorant to these cards. These cards are very, very good. And by being like, oh, they're not good, you know, you're probably not going to end up buying them, and then you're going to be extremely salty with yourself when you end up being like, oh, wow, I should have bought these, and then they're, you know, like $60 Secret Rares. I don't think it's going to be the case, to be honest with you, but there will be some sort of price tag on these cards, because these cards, whether or not we want them to be good or not, they will be good at some point. I mean, I guess they could just fuck up the second, third, and fourth sets, but I don't know, there's just something about an archetype with a graceful charity that lets you play the game on your opponent's turn that just makes me lick my lips and go, oh baby, like, I don't know, it's tongue-licking delicious. Like, if I've learned anything throughout my years of Yu-Gi-Oh!, it's just this combination of cards coming off the old conveyor belt seems good. Now, Japan won't get this set until, oh god, probably next year. I feel bad for them. They're always missing out on all the exclusives. But, I mean, hey, I guess they got the first set of FA support. So, remember when FAs were supposed to be good. Pepperidge Farm does, too. Back to the topic at hand. Soul Fusion gives a lot of support to a lot of decks. More or less, Thunder Dragons are creeping around in the back burner. They're like, hey, we're here. I think it's, once again, doing yourself disservice by choosing not to acknowledge that these archetypes exist, because there's just a lot of hidden support gems coming through this set. And I mean, I always say I always pick up as many of the sets of cards I can just to make sure that we have them in case something sparks later on. You know, I will be doing the same with the Danger archetype just to ensure that, you know, we have them all. But it is a lot of money wasted some days. But, you know, there's a lot to come in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! So we'll have to wait and see just where more of Soul Fusion and the next OCG ban list takes Japan. Because Soul Fusion just seems like a pretty sparingly terrible set. It sounds really bad to say. That extra Toll Trap card, though, the discard Card declare an attack. Yeah, that shit's pretty goddamn spicy. I'm not gonna lie to you. That card's gonna cause problems, or would have caused problems. Maybe wrong. Alright, guys, DJ 10-piece. Reminding you guys always when you go to McDonald's, order your nuggets fresh, and I always get the barbecue sauce. Alright, guys, peace out.